This isn't the first time I've had concerns with what Steve King has said. Earlier in this Congress, there are things that Steve King said that I do not believe the party of Lincoln would stand for. And as a united conference, we actually removed Steve King from his committees inside Congress. And I think this just continues to show why that action was taken.
Welcome back to Harvard. That was the top Republican in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy of California, responding to the latest from U.S. Congressman Steve King. At an event yesterday, King explained his opposition to abortion, even in cases of rape and incest. He asked, if not for rape and incest, would there be any population of the world left? King has already been rebuked by his own party for his divisive rhetoric. The congressman was removed from his House committee assignments early this year after he questioned when terms like white supremacy became offensive in an interview with the New York Times. And that's just one example of a long history of racist comments from the Iowa Republican. Here goes.
For everyone who's a valedictorian, there's another 100 out there that they weigh 130 pounds and they've got calves the size of cantaloupes because they're hauling 75 pounds of marijuana across the desert.
We could also electrify this wire with the kind of current that wouldn't kill somebody, but it would simply be a discouragement for them to be fooling around with it. And we do that with livestock all the time.
This whole white people business, though, does get a little tired, Charlie. I mean, I'd ask you to go back through history and figure out where are these contributions that have been made by these other categories of people that you're talking about? Where did any other subgroup of people contribute more to civilization?
But while King faces the ire of some of his fellow elected Republicans yet again, most have remained largely silent on the rhetoric from President Trump himself, of course. Former Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake, one of only a handful of Republicans to speak out against the president before he retired, told Utah's Deseret News, quote, there's no place for him right now in the GOP, which is going through spasms of a dying party and could be doomed long term if President Donald Trump is reelected. We're back with Joe Walsh, Senator Barbara Boxer, and Jason Johnson. Joe, I want to ask you about this fellow Republican of yours, Steve King. Is he crazy?
Hey, Chris, I'm not going to even try to explain what he said yesterday. I just can't. And every Republican up on Capitol Hill should condemn him. But come on, the voters in that district of his, Chris, they got to step up. I'm a Republican. I believe he's got a Republican primary challenge. There's no way on God's green earth Steve King should get reelected.
We know from following history, those of us who've all been made to read it, world history, that in the old days, when you conquered another country, you raped all the women, there are a lot of babies created, you know? But why bring that up as an argument over current abortion debating and women's rights? Why would you bring that up?
Because he's an offensive, vulgar person. And at the end of the day, look, I have to agree with former Congressman Walsh. I don't believe in overthrowing the will of the people. If the people in his district want this kind of representation, then that's what they should get. I may find him disgusting. I may think he's offensive. I may think it's a terrible white nationalist. We're not arguing to take away
the voting rights of the people of his district.
But the idea that his party should kick him out or anything else like that, I don't think that should happen. The voters, it's a voter's job.
You say they shouldn't take away his committee assignments. Jason?
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Well,
that's up to the people.
Joe, what do you think? I'm going to get back to Barbara, but Joe, you're in the House, so what do you think about this?
No, I agree with Jason. This is on the voters. I have no problem with them reprimanding him in Congress and calling him out, but the voters got to step up.
Yeah.
Well, this goes back to Adam Clayton Powell.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, meanwhile, several conservative commentators have also recently come under fire for remarks of their own. Just 3 days after the deadly shooting in El Paso, where the gunman later admitted he targeted Latinos, Fox News host Tucker Carlson argued that white supremacy wasn't really a big problem.
If you were to assemble a list, a hierarchy of concerns, of problems this country faces, where would white supremacy be on the list? Right up there with Russia, probably. It's actually not a real problem in America. White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax. Just like the Russia hoax. It's a conspiracy theory used to divide the country and keep a hold on power. That's exactly what's going on.
Well, yesterday, right-wing commentator Ben Shapiro shamed people working more than one job to make ends meet. Here he goes.
If you had to work more than one job to have a roof over your head or food on the table, you probably shouldn't have taken the job that's not paying you enough. That'd be a you problem.
I would just wonder, Barbara, Senator, if this guy ever had a job. I'm guessing he's a trust funder. I don't know who this guy is. But, you know, what you get the feeling sometimes the Republicans are just trying to troll the Democrats and most of the American people by saying things that are so off the wall that their own people giggle at the absurdity of it, but they love it as like a big F-U to the rest of the country.
I think they're flirting with disaster. And frankly, I served in the House for 10 years. I have a slight difference of opinion. I do agree those voters in Iowa should have gotten rid of Steve King, but he's back, and he's trying to normalize rape and incest. Oh, it's just part of our life. No, it isn't. It's the most vicious, violent crime. And so I would, if I were in the House and I was a Republican, I would make a complaint to the Ethics Committee, because these people, all of us who are in office, we're supposed to be sending out signals to the people as to what our values are. And if we start saying that rape and incest, oh, that's just part of life. And Tucker Carlson, he must be asleep in a deep coma. He does not understand what is going on. Wake up, Tucker. I remember when you were alive. Is he some kind of robot? It's just crazy.
I can't answer for that person anyway. Meanwhile, Joe, you wrote, Joe Walsh, an op-ed column in the New York Times calling for a conservative primary President Trump. Quote, someone who could stand up, look the president in the eye and say, enough, sir. We've had enough of your indecency. We've had enough of your lies, your bullying, your cruelty. Enough of your insults, your daily drama, your incitement. Enough of the danger you place this country in every single day. We don't want any of this anymore. And the country certainly can't stand 4 more years of it. You know, you sound like Joe Walsh from the Army McCarthy hearings. I'm sure you know you're echoing in that. Have you no decency, Senator? But who? I thought, you know, who has the competence politically? You know, Kasich of Ohio, very successful governor for 2 terms. He's not going to do it. I keep looking at Mitt Romney. I find myself so desperate some days I'm rooting for Mitt Romney to speak up. You know, even the kind of dull characters in politics look like they'd be better off than what we got now. But who's going to challenge Trump? You were saying everybody's afraid of him.
Chris, I don't know, because you need somebody who can stand in front of the world and say, this guy's unfit. He's a bully and a coward. It's got to be somebody who can make the moral case against Trump. And, hey, Chris, it's a bar fight. Some Republican has to punch him in the face every single day, because I'll tell you right now, if somebody doesn't, Chris, the Republicans are going to get wiped out in 2020. If a Republican doesn't present a strong challenge to him and punch this coward in the face every day, the Republican Party is going to have a hard time coming back.
You know, it's hard for me to suggest today because my whole part of the country, the Northeast, has 2 Republicans left, Pat Toomey and Susan Collins. And one of them's probably going to be gone by next time.
Exactly.
So there are no Republican logical suspects.
Well, and most of them don't have the spine to do it. You could stack up Mitt Romney, Jeff Flake, and Corker, and they don't have the spine to punch him in the face.
Well, they do after they quit.
Well, yeah, exactly. Suddenly, sort of, in a way. And the truth of the matter is, Republicans still love the guy. The base still loves him. So the punching is going to have to come from somebody on the Democratic side, because the Republicans aren't going to do it.
I just think a lot of it is just a big F-you to the world they live in, and they keep voting for this guy because he keeps yelling it more loud. These things are absurd. I don't think people believe in all this stuff. Anyway, maybe they do. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, you're better than ever, sir. Thank you for coming on. Barbara, my friend, it's an honor to have you on as always. And you did win 4 straight statewide elections as a liberal without questioning yourself.
Yeah.
You were never gaslighted by these people. You just said what you thought, and you won. Thank you. And Jason Johnson of the Root, thank you, sir, my colleague. Up next, the